Ladies and gentlemen, for a long time, you know, we talked about this border wall. Now, I did a few videos on the border wall, and then all of a sudden, it just dropped off the radar. Well, the Biden administration is pausing the construction of this wall. And if you remember, Steve Bannon ripped off Trump supporters millions and millions of dollars, and Trump pardoned him. So y'all ain't gonna never see that money coming back. But other than that, that was probably the last story I ever did. And I also did a story on a few people that were able to breach this wall with no problem. So, and yeah, because Trump said it was indestructible. So NPR came out with this story with border wall construction finally on hold. Activists worry about what's next. So this is February 1st, 2021. I'm going to play this audio for you.
As promised, President Biden has stopped construction of the massive wall between the U.S. and Mexico, Donald Trump's signature project. The new administration has called for a 2-month suspension while border security officials sort out what to do next. Down in the borderlands, opponents of the wall are celebrating and say the fight may not be over. NPR's John Burnett reports.
The bulldozers and excavators, the concrete trucks and water haulers are now parked. The construction crews are gone, and hundreds of 30-foot tall steel panels are stacked up and down the borderline.
We're cautiously optimistic, and we're definitely celebrating. We all raised a glass of mezcal the night that the order was issued.
That's Lakin Jordahl with the Center for Biological Diversity in Tucson.
We've been fighting this project for years, and this is the first time we've been able to just take a step back and have a deep sigh of relief.
Contractors were able to put up 453 miles of wall over the past 4 years. They fenced off more than half of Arizona's border with Mexico in the environmentally sensitive Sonoran Desert. Working 24/7, racing the clock until Inauguration Day, crews were dynamiting mountainsides to make way for sections of wall that would likely never get built. Gary Nabhan is a longtime ecologist and writer in southern Arizona. He says in just one protected wilderness, Organ Pipe Cactus National Monument, the wall blocked 52 wildlife corridors. For activists like Nabhan, their energies now turn to restoration.
Take down the wall in the critical corridors for wildlife that are usually watered places, rivers and oases. It's going to take a Herculean effort to undo the damage.
The Biden administration has not revealed the fate of the border wall, one of the biggest federal construction projects in history. During the 60-day pause, officials plan to study how to, quote, redirect funding and repurpose contracts. Nearly 300 more miles of wall have been contracted, but remain unfinished. The government could reportedly save $2.5 billion if construction does not resume, but terminating contracts early also means paying tens of millions in cancellation fees. Most landowners on the Rio Grande never wanted a giant security fence to begin with. Beto Cardenas is a lawyer for Sacred Heart Children's Home, an orphanage in Laredo whose property was in the path of the barrier.
Obviously, given the fact that there's been a pause, we would hope that the Biden administration would see that there isn't a need for a physical barrier.
Cardenas, who's worked on Capitol Hill as an immigration expert, says unspent funds may be redirected to a different kind of border security, such as high-tech autonomous surveillance towers.
I would expect that there would be an investment in all sorts of other personnel, infrastructure, and technology, the measures necessary to protect the southwestern border.
Property owners opposed to the wall have long maintained that Customs and Border Protection could substitute technology for steel and concrete, but even that would run into opposition from activists like Tricia Cortez with the No Border Wall Coalition in Laredo.
We don't want the direction to move from a physical wall to a virtual wall and continue down this path of militarizing the border.
Biden's Homeland Security Department is ready to mothball the wall and explore other security measures, according to Representative Henry Cuellar, a Laredo Democrat. He has nearly 200 border miles in his district. He says he was in touch with an executive at DHS last week.
I don't like the wall, but we got to use other things. Cameras, technology, drones, and all that. And I understand some people don't want anything. They don't want cameras. They don't want lights. They don't want underground sensors. And I'm sorry, but we have a responsibility to secure the border.
DHS confirms every wall construction project has been suspended. When asked what comes next, the White House isn't saying yet. John Burnett, NPR News.
Y'all, I think, now that Biden is in, I think this border wall is probably finished. Yeah, I just don't see them doing more of this in the future. And if they're putting it on pause in 60 days, this is not going to resume construction. You're hearing them talk about redirecting funds and, into other things. And that right there is a sign that this thing with the border wall is over. I mean, this is Trump's dream. Obviously, it's not Biden's dream. So this is going to be done away with. It's very obvious when you hear them talking about how much they can save if they stop building the wall and taking funds and allocating the funds into something else. When they start talking like that, they're not interested in this border wall at all. So I really think it's pretty much over. Unless there's some miracle of a Republican winning again after Biden and it resumes. But I think for 4 years, this thing ain't going nowhere. It's not. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. I never thought this wall was going to be finished, even when Trump was still in office. I always knew it was never going to be completed, and it wasn't. So, here we are, with a partially finished wall that chances are will be sitting like this for years to come. And, nobody's going to donate to a wall fund no more because Steve Bannon done ran off with all the money from Trump donors. Yeah, so much for you can trust each other, right? Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.